Hey guys, how you doing? It's been a long time since we've done a vlog in a car. So, in this video, we're going to talk about this video of this woman who graduated with a marketing business degree and then has found out that it's not landing her the high-paying jobs she was expecting. Let's jump into it. Here's the video. I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to comment on the video after you watch it.
I have a bone to pick with America! So I'm headed to my serving job. I hate it. I hate it. Maybe why I make more money serving. I have my literal business marketing degree that put me in a cute $80,000 in debt. And I make more serving sushi rolls because I've been applying to marketing jobs for weeks now. And the pay cut is insane. Insane. But the jobs that are like a cute 150 to 200,000 a year, I'm not getting those. I'm a almost 25-year-old, my birthday soon, almost 25-year-old chick going against, corporate ass America, people with so much experience. All I got is my degree. People say, get your degree, but then they don't talk about how you need experience. The degree was the experience! I need to relax.
So you got this, I guess it's a Gen Zer, 25-year-old. She's just graduated with a marketing business degree, something to that effect. She can't find a job. She's pissed that she can't land those $150,000, $200,000 a year job because they tell her she doesn't have any experience. And then she screams in frustration, my degree is my experience.
The degree was the experience!
I don't know how she got that idea. She must have got that idea from the schools, right? It's not true. It's not true. And it's not specific to that degree. The vast majority of degrees in school, what they teach you has no bearing on reality in the workplace. The vast majority, the vast majority. So keep that in mind. There's some exceptions, maybe medical, dentists, maybe some of the medical training, anesthesiologists. But when it comes to so many other degrees, what you're learning, even in the STEM fields, of computer science, computer engineering, I know several friends who are engineers who graduated from some of the more prestigious schools in engineering up here in Canada. And they've all told me that what they learned in engineering had nothing to do with the job that they actually did. That's really the case. So you have to think about your first job as your last year of school. That first job you get, no matter what your profession is, whether it be software or marketing or whatever it is, it's your last year or the last of 2-3 years of training. In software, the salary reaches that medium, that high mark that everybody aspires to, that 100K or so in North America. That hits you in the first 2 to 3 years, maybe 3 to 4 years, depending on circumstances. That's when that hits. That first job you get, I wouldn't be caring too much what the salary is for that first job. You got to think of that first job as your stage work, your paid stagiaire work, because you are a fresher coming out of school, coming out of a boot camp. You're a fresher, and you're not worth the big money yet. So don't let it get you down, but you're not getting that big money the first year. That's okay. It's no big deal. Just get that first job. That's what I tell people. So in my boot camp, what I have people do is I have them get through the core curriculum as quickly as they can. It's about 250 to 300 hours of work to get through that. And then on the strength of that, you go out, you build your 2 to 3 free projects, small freelance gigs. Even if you don't want to be a freelancer, you just do that just to get your hands dirty with real code. Because when you go to get a job, if you can show real world experience, I built this web app for this company, I implemented this other company's e-commerce system, this all is something, is music to the ears of a prospective employer. Why? Because first you've shown that you're able to take initiative and build things. B, you've shown that you can work on real projects, which means you can work with real people, get requirements, fulfill requirements. That is so much more valuable than any piece of paper, any degree that you may have or you may get. Keep that in mind. So a question I get often, and I'll address it here, a question I get often is, should you go to university, or should you do boot camp, or should you learn on your own? Well, the short answer, it depends. Another answer is I wouldn't do it most of the time, especially for coding and computer, for software development. I would not take a 4-year program most of the time. Let me give you a couple of reasons. Number one, cost. If you go to university, especially in the U.S., you're looking at at least $10,000 a year. That's just what you have to outlay, right? It could be much higher than that, of course. But there's another cost that people don't consider, and that's the opportunity cost. What is the opportunity cost? The opportunity cost is the cost of taking that opportunity. So if you go to school, you take a 4-year program to learn computer science, there are years where you are not earning a salary, right? Because you're in school, you're paying. Whereas if you do a boot camp or you learn on your own, it's conceivable within 6 months to a year you can get your first job, your entry-level job. So you're starting to earn. So let's say your first job in the U.S., I'm going to use a very low number, you're making $35,000 a year, really low ball offer, low ball job. You could probably get it to 50. But let's say it's 35. But then the second year of experience, then it jumps up to 80, right? And then the third year, it jumps up to 100, right? And then, so here we are, 3 years of earning you've done now, whereas the person who went to college, they haven't done any earning. They're still learning, right? You can't earn when you're learning. If you add up the numbers, well, it was 50, it was 80, it was 100, so 180, it's about 220,000. So the opportunity cost, in theory, for that student who went to university for 4 years was not only the cost of school, but it was also those 3 extra years that they could have been earning a salary working and gaining experience. So that cost them, so that education not only cost them the cost of tuition, so let's say the cost of tuition, we'll put it low ball, we'll say it was 50 grand for the 4 years with the books and everything. Plus the 220 in missed out salary, so that opportunity cost, your overall cost there was like 270,000 $270,000. So that's what it cost you to go to school, $270,000. Now, are you going to be ahead of that person who went right into the workforce as a developer? I don't think you will be. Even Google, when you go look at Google's site, even Google talks about how they don't require degrees to become a Google engineer. They've eliminated that. It's been a few years now. And if you look at other articles, which I'll point out in other videos, but you can just look it up yourself in Fortune, the majority of companies now do not require a degree to get a job. The majority of companies now, something like 59% based on surveys that LinkedIn did and Fortune did and others. That's the majority. And this trend is only accelerating. What does this mean? The value of higher education is continuing to drop over time. It's continuing to drop. So I'm recording this in October 2023. I would imagine if you're watching this 2-3 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised if 75% of employers don't require a degree. Of course, there are certain professions where you're going to need a degree, medical, right? Doctor, dentist, that kind of stuff where you need accreditation because it's a government issue for sure. But so that's just a small percentage of the jobs that are out there that are medical. Software development jobs, marketing jobs. I can go on and on and on. There's so many where you don't need a degree. So since I'm into the software development game, business game, I train people in business and software development and freelancing. You don't need any of that. I'm telling you, when it comes to freelance, the degree, your level of education is something you will never be asked about. I would be flabbergasted if somebody would ever ask you that. Because company owners, especially small business owners who are going to be the majority of your clients if you're freelancing, they couldn't care less about your degree. It's the nature of their game. When you're an entrepreneur and you're building small business, you're much more concerned about abilities, provable, demonstrable abilities, rather than certifications and pieces of paper. Even in large corporations where they still look at degrees, they see it as a way to weed out people a little bit. But they're becoming more dinosaurs over time. But even they say, even with people from the universities, there's no talent there. Most of them are no good. They're not properly trained. So I think that with that knowledge, I think more and more people, like Google and several other businesses, many other businesses, they're starting to recognize that no, we should judge people based on their abilities. We should screen them based on their abilities, not based on whether they went to this school or that school. Because they know now, they've done all the studies, I've cited them in many videos. They know now that whether you have a degree or not is not a very strong indicator of whether you're going to be competent. It really isn't. And in fact, personally, and I've been saying this for many years, I've been hiring people for years, I trust a self-taught developer much more than somebody with a computer science degree or a computer engineering degree. Why? Because the self-taught person had the motivation and the curiosity and the interest to be able to learn the skill on their own, or at least partially on their own, via Bootcamp or via mentoring. This is somebody who's proactive. This is somebody who's on the ball, right? Whereas people who go to university, they're led by the nose. A lot of people who go to university just go there because they feel they have to go to university. It's a conformist thing. And they follow the money entirely sometimes. So you have to enjoy your job is another point. Here's a broader point of advice about career. I do what I do, and I'm fortunate I've been able to do what I do for my entire life because I like it. It's fun for me. I could retire, but I don't necessarily believe in retirement because what am I going to retire to? I enjoy what I do. I have no desire to retire because what I do is not tiring. It's fun. Anyway, so there you go. Unfortunately for a lot of people, they've been given a false impression about what they're getting out of the schools, the universities and colleges, what value they're deriving from it. There's been a little bit misrepresentation there, shall we say. So just keep it in mind. When you do get your degree, for most of the degrees, what you've learned there is not really going to be super valuable in terms of actual work. So I wouldn't consider it super valuable. You're still going to have to learn the game, learn the craft, and you do that by actually jumping into the profession, actually doing things for real. So there you go. Very few degrees, very few professions where you're going to walk in la-di-da, right out of school, making the big money. And don't consider it an insult when you are offered that job with the low pay, well, the seemingly low pay. That's temporary, first of all. Second of all, keep in mind that they're taking a risk by hiring you, because when a company takes in a noob, takes in a fresher, there's a cost that they have to incur to train you, to get you up to speed. And they're going to be paying you for that. So consider yourself lucky. Consider yourself lucky to train in a competent business that's making money. So you're going to have competent people around you who can mentor you, who can train you up. This is worth money. Listen, people pay me good money to get mentored by me. They pay me, and I even have several CTOs, Chief Technology Officers, who pay me. Of course, they find what I charge inexpensive, but that aside, maybe I should raise my price there. That aside, they're paying me to get my opinion, to get my guidance. So when you go work for a company where you're a fresher right out of school, where you just know a lot of theoretical stuff, and a lot of it might be nonsense. Actually, most of the time, most of it's nonsense, to be totally honest with you. When you get out of school, you don't know nothing. You go work for this company, and you're learning from them, and they're paying you. You're paying you for a change now. You should be happy. Whereas when you went to university, you were paying to learn, Now when you go get a job, you're going to get paid to learn. So it's
One sec. I'm having trouble with the connection. Please try again later.
I don't know what the hell that is. All right, that's it. I hope you found this video useful. I will be traveling fairly soon, and I plan on doing a lot more of these vlogs in a car, answering questions and doing videos. You let me know what you think about the subject at hand in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think about this format. Do you like this idea of me doing commentaries while driving around? I'm thinking it might be a little bit more interesting for you. And there you go, man. That's the story. We shall talk soon.